Hello everyone and welcome along for another episode of Bite Size Maths. Today we will be discussing singular and non-singular matrices, adjoint of a matrix, inverse of a matrix, and some theorems and proofs related to them. So let's get started. So first off, when is a matrix singular? A matrix is said to be singular if the determinant of said matrix is 0. So if there's any matrix like a 2 by 2 or 3 by 3 or 4 by 4, whatever the size of the matrix is, if the determinant of that matrix is 0, then the matrix is singular. It follows that if determinant of a matrix is not equal to 0, then it is called non-singular. Now, this seems like a very small property, but it has pretty big significance whenever we want to find the inverse of a matrix. Because to find the inverse, we need to also find the determinant of a matrix, and if the determinant is 0, then the matrix is said to be non-invertible. Basically, you cannot find the inverse of a matrix if determinant is 0. But let's keep that aside for a while now, and let's go and see what an adjoint is. Adjoint of a matrix. So adjoint of a matrix is simply the transpose of the cofactor matrix. So basically, if your example matrix is, let's say, A1, A2, I'm just showing it in a 2 by 2 matrix format because it makes it easier to write. Otherwise, the logic applies to a 3 by 3 matrix the same. B1, B2, let's say this is our main matrix. The associated cofactors, let's write them here, A1, A2, B1, B2 are A1, A2, B1, B2. Then the cofactor matrix is A1, A2, B1, B2. Now, if we take the let's call this matrix K. Now if we take transpose of K, if we take K transpose, it will become A1, A2, B1, B2. This K transpose is known as adjoint of the original matrix. So if this original matrix was called, let's say, A, then this will be called adjoint of A, and it is usually denoted as ADJ of A. So now let's continue and move towards inverses. Now basically, if you do it for a 3 by 3 matrix, you take the cofactor matrix like for a 3 by 3 matrix, which will become A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3, and take the transpose of it, you will get the adjoint of a 3 by 3 matrix. The logic remains the same, but the size slightly increases. But let's continue now towards the inverse of a matrix. Now, inverse of a matrix. So for a square matrix A, if another matrix B exists such that AB equals to BA equals to I. Now this is really important bit of the inverse. Your AB should exist, your BA should also exist, and both of them should be equal to I, the identity matrix. Then B is multiplicative inverse of A. It is usually just called the inverse of A, and people usually do not mention the multiplicative bit, but I'm just mentioning it over here just to make it clear, that's all. And it is usually denoted as B equals to A power minus 1. So now let's see some properties with their related proofs. So first property of matrix inverses is that A inverse whole inverse, basically you take the inverse of inverse, is equivalent to the original matrix A. So let's prove it. Proof. Let C equals to A inverse. This implies C inverse equal to A, but CA equal to AC equal to I. Because this is the property of the inverse, because we defined it this way, right? So now because C inverse is A, but C was already defined as A inverse, this implies that A inverse whole inverse equals to A. Right. So now let's go towards property number 2, which says A transpose whole inverse equals to the A inverse whole transpose. So now let's prove this one. Proof. So let's start by taking A transpose into A inverse transpose. Now if we remember the property of transposes, where it was like A into B A transpose into B transpose is equal to B into A whole transpose, right? That was one of the properties that we discussed in a previous video about transposes. So if we apply that property over here, which is A transpose into this, let's consider this as B, that A inverse matrix as B transpose. So it will become A inverse into A whole transpose, using the property A transpose into B transpose equals BA whole transpose. This is the property that we are applying over here from transposes. But this, by our definition of inverse, is I transpose basically, and I transpose, as we all know, is equivalent to I again. In a similar fashion, if we take A inverse transpose into A transpose and apply the same property again, we will get A into A inverse whole transpose equal to I transpose equal to I. So now, since both this equation number 1 and equation number 2, using equation 1 and 2, what can we say? A transpose A inverse whole transpose equals to A inverse transpose A transpose equals to I. This implies A inverse whole transpose is inverse of A transpose. So this basically means A inverse transpose equals to, just a second, is equal to A transpose inverse. Now let's continue to property number 3. Let's write it over here, nice and simple. Property number 3, which says that transpose of the product of the inverse of product of two matrices equal to inverse of B into inverse of A. Now let's prove it. Now first off, both these matrices should be invertible. That's the first thing. Second thing, they both need to be multiplicable to each other and in reverse order as well. So basically both of them are square matrices, both of them are invertible. So for both matrices this property applies. A into A inverse equal to A inverse into A equal to I, and similarly B into B inverse equals to B inverse into B equal to I. So we need to make sure that we remember this property. Now let's start by multiplying AB with B inverse A inverse and see what happens. So if we remember the associative property of matrix multiplication and apply that, this whole matrix can be written as A into B inverse into A. Now if you A inverse. Now if you simplify this, it becomes A into I matrix into A inverse, which simplifies down to A into A inverse, and this thing by our first property over here is same as our I matrix. Now if we do it in a similar fashion but in the opposite order, B inverse into A inverse into AB, and we apply the same associative property of matrix multiplication, it becomes B inverse A inverse A B. This simplifies to B inverse I B, which again simplifies into I. So basically this becomes our equation 1 for this proof, and this becomes our equation 2 for this proof. And using equation 1 and 2, what we can say, AB into B inverse A inverse is equal to B inverse A inverse into AB. So what, and this whole term is equal to identity matrix. So now what happens? If you observe this, this is similar to writing that C into some other matrix, let's say D, equal to D into C equals to I. So so this will imply that C inverse equals to D, right? But C in our case becomes AB. So AB inverse equals to B inverse A inverse.